Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to today's episode of 14 kph or Karla's Power Hour. Now, if you've known me a while, then you know that I do a lot of public speaking. Just this week, I have four speaking engagements booked. Some are paid speaking engagements, one is a workshop, and one is to be a guest speaker at a university to talk about customer service and service recovery. So, if you think that you need a lot of experience to be able to speak well and confidently in front of a public, then you're right. The only way to get there is through practice. But through constant correct practice and continuous education, then you'll get there easier and you'll get there faster. Let me tell you a quick background about my public speaking experience. So, ever since I was in elementary school, I joined speech choirs, extemporaneous speaking competitions, and then when I went to college and high school, I also joined debate competitions, more extemporaneous speaking competitions, some oratory competitions, and when I started working, I did a lot of events hosting. Sometimes I was an MC at a private party or some weddings, anniversaries, and then I also do corporate shows from a small opening of a cafe or maybe a salon or something like that to big corporate events such as small shows, concerts, and um, outdoor public events. So that's my public speaking experience. So for today's episode, I'm not going to teach you the technicalities of public speaking and confidence because a lot of public speaking is really just confidence and really just clarity of your words and you really connecting to your audience. But what I'm going to teach you now is I'm going to tell you 10 ways to improve your public speaking skills and to improve your confidence and for you to be a better speaker and a better communicator. It doesn't matter if your audience is small or if your audience is huge. So I will not teach you what I teach in some of my public speaking courses and workshops that I offer to corporations and universities where I teach hand gestures, eye contact, correcting your voice tones and improving your clarity and things like that. I will not tell you what the kinds of speeches are. We will not do exercises. Those are the things that you can actually Google if you're really interested about it. And you can also get online courses about them. But what I'm going to teach you now are 10 practical ways to just be better at where you are right now. And then you can use these 10 ways and practice over and over again until you can improve, until you get to a public speaking and a confidence level that you want and that you're most comfortable with. Okay? So let's start. First is you have to talk naturally as if you're addressing a person and not a crowd. Remember, your message is accepted by every single individual, and every single individual has to feel that really care about them, that you really care about their outcome. Number two, before you go on a speech or before you talk, even if it's just a small crowd, in fact, even if it's just a conference table when you're pitching something, always visualize. Always take time to think positively and visualize. So most of the time you will find yourself feeling nervous, and these are the bodily reactions when you get nervous. First, your pupils dilate, and then your heartbeat quickens, and then you feel sweat on your palms and your feet, and that's normal. The funny thing is, these are also the normal bodily reactions that you get when you're excited, when you're about to open that new iPhone on your table, when you're about to blow a birthday cake, when your boyfriend is proposing to you. So these are the same feelings, and what you can do is you can trick your brain into thinking that instead of being nervous, you are actually excited and you're ready to kill that speech out there and be a boss and be a champion on that stage. Number three, focus on audience patterns. If you see people nodding, then you should say more of that, or you should say it more in that way that you said it. If people are bored, they're looking through their phones, then you need to switch up your strategy and you need to switch up your tone, your messaging. Maybe it's time to drop that joke that you've been saving. So you need to continuously look for feedback so that you can adjust where you're at. Next, this is a spillover of tip number 3, which is to focus on audience patterns. So the fourth tip is you have to focus more on your audience than yourself. So these people, when they come to see you and when they come to hear you talk, trust me, they are rooting for you. They want you to succeed. They want to learn from you. They're excited to hear from you, and they're excited to learn from you. Nobody's wishing that you'd fail. Nobody wishes that you trip on the microphone wire, or you'll forget what you're going to say, or that you're going to encounter a technical problem. Focus on your audience and give them what they want and need to hear. You have to say it. You have to fulfill the tasks that was given to you. What you were supposed to talk about, you have to fulfill that. You have to fulfill the objectives of your speech. That's what these people went to your speech for. That's why they're there to watch you. So even if it's a small meeting, that's why they went there, they took a cab, and they drove over to see you and to hear you talk. So respect them for that. Number 5, you have to use their language and use their metaphors. And then you relate it to what you're teaching, and then you can also use of these things to stir curiosity. You have to make them curious. Ask questions, ask for feedback, empathize with them. So when you use their language and when you use metaphors that are familiar to them, it makes them think that, hey, this guy's on my team. This guy really gets me. And if you have an audience who feels that way, then you're already winning as a speaker. Next is number 6, you have to mention words clearly, and you have to open your mouth well. So a lot of people might not be that good at English, or not very proficient in English, but you have to make every word clear so that every word can be heard at the back of the room clearly. So you remember, there's a difference between saying a word clearly and saying a word loudly. Okay, it should be clear. Every consonant, every vowel should sound correct and clear so that your message can get across to the audience better. Number 7, give your listeners a reason to care. Okay, you have to touch their hearts. You have to appeal to their emotions. You have to give them a reason why they're listening to you. Okay, so when you start your speech, you should start strong. You should mention something that piques their curiosity, or makes them laugh, makes them angry, make them feel something, make them wait for what you're about to say. Don't just say, okay, so today I will talk about, no, don't do that. Ask a question, mention an important statistic, say something surprising. These are the things that will get them hooked when you're starting a speech, and these are the things that make them want to lean in and listen to you more. Number 8, and this is very important, the more you do it, the better you'll get. So my advice is you practice, 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 and before you go on stage, you practice in front of a mirror, you practice with a video in front of a video camera, you practice in front of your friend. No, so the amount of practice that you should do should also be commensurate, or like proportional to the amount of pressure that you get, however big the crowd is, or what the consequences are for you. So if you are trying to land a huge gig, if you're doing a huge pitch, or if you're doing a TEDx, then you should put more effort into it, and you should put more effort into your practice. So they say practice makes perfect, but that's not absolutely correct. Constant correct practice makes perfect, and that's what you should always do. Number 9, don't forget to smile. Okay, so don't forget to smile, don't forget to relax yourself. Okay, so you have to remember that going on stage might be daunting, but at the same time it can also be fucking enjoyable, and it's heartwarming, and it fills your heart in many ways that you can't imagine. Lastly, don't forget to breathe. Okay, don't forget to breathe. Be calm. If you're afraid that you're forgetting something, it's okay, just breathe. You can just pause, and your audience will wait for what you'll say next. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to buy yourself some time if you forgot something, and to buy yourself some time if you want to improvise something. So Sometimes the more you breathe and the more you stay calm, you can also give your brain space to think of better things to say, because you might be surprised that some things, they just come to you when you're already there on stage. So these are the things that you should remember. Okay, I hope you took down notes because I'm not gonna recap all of that. But I have a bonus for you as well. So as I was doing my research and as I was writing something for a very important resource that I'll release on September 18th, I discovered words that reduce your power. So when you say these words or these phrases when you're doing a speech, it works negatively for you and it works badly for your speech. So these are the words that reduce your power. I listed them here. So avoid using just, I think, avoid ums as much as you can. Even the veterans still do that sometimes, but try your best to not do it. Let me, okay, don't say let me, because they're not gonna let you. You don't need their permission, just do it. Don't say I'll talk about. So as I've said, don't say you're gonna talk about something, just fucking start talking about it. Don't say my topic is. People will know what your topic is. People read the stupid poster. Your name is there, your topic is there. They got their handouts, okay? You don't have to repeat it. Next is don't apologize. Don't say sorry for, hey, sorry for this very loud microphone, or hey, sorry I'm late for 5 minutes, or hey, sorry for that technical problem. Don't start your speech with an apology, because it makes them feel like now that you owe them, that they're there listening to you. Next is don't say please bear with me, because you don't want an audience to just sit there and bear with you. You want an audience that's ready to listen from you and learn from you. And lastly, do not end a lot of speakers still commit this problem and this mistake. They say please bear with me at the start or in the middle, and at the end they say that's all I have. Don't say that's all I have, because to be honest, that's not all you have. There are other things that you can offer, wink wink. But what I'm saying is that saying stuff like I'm gonna talk about this and please bear with me and that's all I have, it reduces your power and reduces your subject matter to just something that you were tasked to talk about for that particular day. You don't want your audience to think that. You want your audience to think that you're absolutely passionate about your topic and that you're absolutely passionate about your audience learning from you and making good use of what you're teaching them or sharing with them, or even if you're just there to entertain them, so that they will keep remembering you for that experience, and in their eyes, you're the absolute champion. So I hope you learn a lot from that, and I'm very happy to be here with you. And if you have more questions, you can just PM me or drop a comment. Anything about public speaking, I can definitely help you out. So bye, and see you tomorrow.